Hey Frank, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for taking time to be on our show. Frank, tell our audience a little bit about what you do and your background.
Well, my name is Frank Ferraro, and I bring a wealth of experience to the corporate finance world and capital markets. My career game began about 40 years ago. I started as a specialist clerk on the American Stock Exchange and later moved up the line and became a market maker. As a market maker, I also became a listing agent, guiding companies through the intricate process of going public. And that included preparing business models, preparing companies for the rigorous standards of going through the marketplace, from financial reporting to compliance. And that experience gave me the firsthand knowledge of working with companies on a different level.
Okay.
And today, I pretty much just take that experience and channel it into the different things that I do, whether it be my podcast, my websites, or other different businesses that we incorporate into this.
Okay. Frank, how many companies have you taken public?
Over the years, we've probably listed about over 800 companies, and
That's all, just 800, huh?
people. It's an amazing thing, and it was a lot of fun. But and we also the funny thing is we actually listed the Nasdaq stock market. We took the Nasdaq stock market public on the OTC bulletin board, and it actually traded under the symbol NDAQ. And the funny thing is that I had the company Corporate Roadshow for many, many years back then. That's when I started it. And the Wall Street Journal put out an article, no roadshow for NASDAQ IPO. I was like, what? How could they do that to me?
Look at him now, right? Look at him now.
Pretty funny.
So Frank, let's get into it. Our audience is a lot of entrepreneurs and people are interested in business. One of the biggest questions is when somebody's starting a business and their goal is have an exit strategy of either going public or selling the company. What is the foundation? What should they do to make sure that they can have success for that exit strategy?
And that's a good question. That's a big question. Okay. Setting up for a buyout, it really begins with having a very, very strong foundation. First, you have to ensure that your financials are in order, they're accurate, they're transparent, they're easily auditable. Okay. Investors want clarity. And second, secure intellectual property such as trademarks, patents, if applicable, because that adds significant value to your company. And third, develop a scalable business model. Okay. Businesses, buyers are attracted to companies that demonstrate growth with potential without requiring a lot of capital or effort. And lastly, ensure that you have a solid corporate governance structure, including clear contracts and policies for employees and partners, because these different agreements will reduce friction going forward.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems that people have is when money starts getting involved. If you don't have everything set up at the beginning, it becomes
It gets nasty. It gets real.
it's a
It
big
gets real fast. Trust me. That's your job. That's big part of a job as an investment banker.
yeah
Doing
yeah
that. And that's
yeah.
not an easy thing because you got people there for years, and I want this, and I deserve that. And,
Greed is good and bad.
Woo!
Greed is good and bad. So I got you. I got you. Now, you made a great point of somebody having a company that's scalable or not scalable or an asset. I do a lot of consulting also, and I see a lot of people that are in a dilemma that have had success, or they believe that they have an asset like a patent or something along those lines that's high value. How does someone know or understand that, hey, we've got to a certain level and we should either sell or we should go public?
Well, that's pretty interesting because it really depends. If you going public is a big leap, okay, and it requires a significant preparation. Okay, so when your financials are robust and you show consistent growth and profitability, clear potential, you'll need a solid track record. Okay, and the thing is like I mentioned before, if you're in a business that's scaling, yeah, that's a great way to go public to raise money. Okay, but if
Like
you're
crowdfunding,
like what?
like crowdfunding.
Well, that business model is scaling. That's a great business model. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
yeah. But if you're in, let's say, the typewriter business, that's not really scaling anymore.
Right.
You follow me?
Right.
It's a business. You have assets. You might want to just sell it.
Yeah, maybe the
So
client list at the highest value that you might have there instead of the actual typewriters. Hey, they
yeah,
could be classics and be worth something, antiques.
you never know. But I'm just saying, So I mean, there's certain dynamics, and it does take a lot of work to go public. It's not just an easy thing because there's a lot of different financials. There's a lot of different parameters. You also have to talk about government conditions. Where is your, what is your business? What does it do? Where is it located? Where is it doing business? What countries are it in? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, plus on top of that, I've had clients that are like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just, sell it, get my paycheck, and we're out.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're in an industry, um, and you see untapped potential and have the drive to scale, going public is the right deal. You know what I mean? If you're depending on the industry, it really does. It depends on the industry.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Frank, tell us how can someone watch your podcast and be able to connect with you and find out more about your show.
Hey, well, you can Google Off Road with Frank Ferraro, and you can listen in our podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Alexa. You can also log on to corporateroadshow.com and see some of the interesting companies that we profile. And again, my name is Frank Ferraro, and I'd love to have you come on. And I want to thank you for having me on.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you so much for your time, Frank.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, bud.